If your dishwasher is making this sound or another weird sound altogether, or it's leaking, not draining, or just not cleaning well, you're not alone. This is just some of the things that I pulled out from under the wash arm of my 20-year-old Kenmore. Not gonna lie, looked bad, but from what I'm about to show you in this video, fixed it. And no, you don't have to be a pro plumber to fix this. Anybody can do it. Trust me, you can do it, and I'm going to help you. What I'm about to show you is going to fix about 98% of those problems that you're having with your Kenmore or Whirlpool dishwasher. So let's get into some of the tools you're going to need to get this job done. You're going to want some kind of a Torx bit or a Torx driver. More than likely a number 15 or a number 20, depending on the size that are in there. You're going to want some kind of adjustable wrench, and then also a nut driver, 1/4-inch nut driver. I like these 10-in-1, 13-in-1 tools that have all of them kind of built into it. So you can pick these up at Home Depot for 10, 15, 20 bucks for a nice one. And then you're going to want some kind of a light that you can put in there. I like my little Milwaukee ones that have the magnet on the back. It's the one that I used in the video, and I can actually mount it to the metal railing so that I can get some light and I can actually see in there. So these are going to be the tools that you're going to need. And then what's always a good idea is to get a multi-compartment container. It doesn't have to be fancy like I've got here. Just something to where you can keep all the parts as you take them out of the dishwasher and you won't lose them. Now, when you are ready to actually start working on the dishwasher, first thing you're going to want to do is find your breaker box, find the power that goes to your dishwasher, and shut that off. We don't want to electrocute. We don't want to kill anybody. Turn off the power to the dishwasher first. But cutting the power to the dishwasher is going to allow you to get in there and not be afraid of doing something to where you're going to get hurt. Don't worry. We've got the confidence now. We can do this. You can do this. So now that we have the power cut to the dishwasher, let's go ahead and get everything out of there. All the dirty dishes, anything that's still left in the dishwasher, we're going to get out of it. Hi there, Penny. There's Penny Lane helping me out. And we're actually going to take the baskets out also. So I'm going to show you how to get those out. Super simple, super easy. Again, you guys, you're doing great. You can do this. We can do this. I'm showing you. I did it. You can do it. All right. So now to the point to where we're going to remove the baskets out of the dishwasher. This is going to allow us to have some extra space. So our top and bottom basket here is pulled out on these rails. You can see the little wheels here on the side. They're inside these tracks, and you can actually roll them to the very edge, and you can see they get locked into by these plastic clips on the end. These are real easy to kind of just pop out. Not easy when you've got a camera in one hand, you're trying to pull this out on the left hand, but here's a close-up of one of those pins, and you just squeeze to where you release it and you push up. See what I'm doing? You squeeze and you push up, and then you can pull the pin out, and then you do that on both sides, and you can roll the entire basket out. So once you lift off that pin, which I had to kind of do that off camera, and I'm trying to grab this with just one hand and hold the camera, but you do that on both sides, you can pull that top basket out, just push it off to the side, and then those clips, we're going to put that into our little compartment there so we always know where everything's at. And then if we can't get it all done today or tonight, we can close this up, put it up and away. If you got kids, animals, spouse that tends to move things around, you have it all in one contained area, all your parts in one spot. The bottom basket's very easy to pull out. That just actually lifts up and you just pull it out. And now we're to the nitty gritty, and we can get our light in here and we can kind of get started. Now, the way we're going to do this video and the repair and taking everything apart, I'm going to show you guys kind of step by step in real time. Here's the light that's going in. If you're looking for a highly edited video, quick edits and this isn't it. So going forward here, it's going to be almost in real time as if you're working alongside with me, which is kind of how I operate when I'm trying to do things around the house and I'm referring to YouTube videos. I'll go pause it, go back to what I'm working on, go do the work, go back to the video, pause it, go back and forth. So what we're going to do now is remove the bottom spray arm. We're just going to take off that plastic retaining bolt at the top. Just unscrew it with your hands and this whole assembly comes off, which is great. Super easy. And then we're going to take off the plastic washer or bushing, I think they call it, that comes off. Now it's going to look like it's cracked or whatever. It's not. And just pay attention to the way this is sitting on your assembly here. Go ahead and take a picture with your phone as you're doing things each step so that you know how things go back on and you can kind of see. But take a look at this bushing when you take it off. It's going to look like it's cracked or broken, but it's not. That's how it comes. So I just wanted to let you know so you don't panic and think that you broke it or that this is the broken part. Just remember and take a picture of how this sits on there when you take it off. All right, so now we have, I think there's 8 of the Torx screws that are down here. Just go ahead and take your Torx driver that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up parts of the video as we go through, like when we're kind of unscrewing and screwing stuff in, kind of redundant, so saving some time. All right, looks like I forgot to take the bushing off earlier, so we're going to take that off. Again, just remember how that goes on. All right, now that we have all of the 8 screws taken out, we can take the pump cover off, and then you've got, it's attached to the back side of where that manifold's coming down in the center, that white plastic piece. That's movable, so you can kind of move that around to get the next part that we're going to take off of the bottom of the dishwasher here. So I think it's a separator. But that's a super flexible area. You'll see when you're in there how you can move that around. Now, as we're taking stuff out of the dishwasher, now's a good time to actually put your head in there and take a look around. You're going to find some fantastic things that you may have been missing or lost. Here's a plastic fork that's back here. Sometimes you can't get in without taking some of these parts out and off. So once you start doing this, this is part of the troubleshooting process that's going to help fix 98% of the problems as we get down into where the drive shaft is on this. So we've got some hard bits of, looks like a peach pit, plastic fork. We're going to find some other things going kind of crazy down here. So as you're getting stuff taken off, it's a good time to just run your fingers around, get your head stuck in there, get that light moved around, and look for things that shouldn't be in there anymore. Now we're going to take off the impeller that's attached to the motor shaft. Take your, I think the 1/4 inch nut driver, and this is where you're going to use your adjustable wrench to kind of hold on to the black piece here also as you're trying to unscrew the nut. So once you finally get the screw out, you can lift straight up and get that impeller off the shaft, so it comes out pretty easy. Just lift it straight up. And as you're pulling the parts, you're inspecting them, just making sure that they're okay. If you see any problems with them, that's where you can actually make note and go buy the exact parts that you need, and you know how to get to them, how to get them replaced to fix 98% of all the problems that it has to do with the sounds, the leaks, the grinding noises, all that good stuff. Here's a close-up after we've taken the impeller off. All right, so from this angle, you can see we've got 4 of the Torx screws that's holding down the separator to the pump below. So once we take out the 4 Torx screws, we can lift that separator out and do even more of a visual inspection on what's down here. So to pull the separator out, just move that manifold out of the way. Again, you'll see it's very flexible back here. You can kind of move around. It clips in on the back of the dishwasher, which you'll be able to see. But now we're getting down to the pump and the grinder. Are we calling it the grinder? Look at all this stuff down here. This is like an Easter egg hunt of things that could be causing us problems. So if one of your reasons for doing this is the grinding noise or the noises that are coming, one of it could be any number of these items that should not be down here. The piece of plastic, the peach pits, the hard pieces of God knows what is down here, chicken bone. So all of that could be causing issues with the noise that you're hearing. Also, if you have leaking issues or it's not draining, a lot of this stuff is going to be a cause of that, as well as some of the rubber gaskets that you're seeing around here, which we're not going to take the rubber gaskets out because we're not having leaking issues. But if you do, it's easy to see how you can get the rubber gaskets out and just replace those. These are the check balls that are, it kind of helps with the backflow so you don't get the water to come back in there. You're going to have two of these little white balls in here. The first one you can get out from the top here. The second one, we're going to have to actually take this black cover underneath the chopper. Once we take the chopper off, we can get this black cover off and get that second check ball to see if there's anything stuck underneath. But anything as far as draining, not cleaning properly, leaking, it could be any number one of these gaskets. And I've changed these gaskets before, so that's why I'm not changing them this time around. I'm just looking for things that are causing that grinding noise. And it could be, like I said, any number of these things, or what we're going to find out is when I pull this chopper blade off, the chopper blade and the spring didn't look quite right. And we're going to get into some, I'm going to show you some detail on the spring to where I'm like, I don't know if this is causing me some issues also that might also be attributing to some of the noise. We'll show you that here in just a second, but get all this stuff cleaned out. This is also another reason why I kind of recommend this as almost a yearly maintenance, at least every 2 years if you can, to take all of this apart just to do kind of a deep clean and get a visual inspection of your dishwasher, because no matter how much you stay on top of how you load your dishwasher, and there's other people maybe in your household that are a little looser, let's say, with putting stuff in there like plastic forks and things that really shouldn't be going in your dishwasher, bones and all that stuff, this is really the only way you're going to get it out without it causing further issue. So get all the stuff here out of here as much as you can. The sitting water, I'm going to get my shop vac and get that sucked out so we can just see a little bit better. It's the next thing for us to get this black oval cover off. It's held down, looks like by one screw. So we're going to get that screw taken out and then basically lift up off of that oval cover. So if you are having either draining or leaking issues, or it's not chopping up your food, there is a drain and wash impeller kit that you can buy, which is what we're going to end up buying also, that replaces all of these parts and all of the rubber gaskets. And I think depending on where you can find it from, you're probably going to spend $70-$80 for that whole kit. And it's real easy. Like you can see, we're pulling up this the white gasket here. I'm trying to get the check ball out of the hole there. That prevents the backflow of the water. But you see the white gasket that's down, wrapped around the motor shaft, the drive shaft here. My fingers are kind of picking away at all the different things that are still kind of stuck here. All of the rubber gaskets and seals come in that wash and impeller kit that you can just change all of this out, and it will absolutely fix most of your leaking and draining issues. So what I'm doing is just doing another visual inspection, making sure everything looks okay. I'm not going to replace any of these because they look all right, and I just changed these out, I think, last year or the year before. And I'm just trying to make sure the motor shaft is okay. So that's why I keep kind of playing around with it. So we're going to get all the other stuff out of here. And then I'm going to show you what I believe is also causing me an issue that might have been part of the noise as well with the chopper blade and the spring. So I just pulled the gasket out, checking it out, making sure it doesn't look like it's torn. I just want to make sure it's going to seal properly. If you've never changed these out before and you're down here, just get that whole kit and replace everything. So for $70-$80, opening this up once, changing it all out is going to solve a lot of issues or be a preventative maintenance step for you so you don't have any problems going forward for a while. But I'm just doing a visual inspection on everything. And I believe by taking all of these pieces out and getting this cleaned up and then taking a look at the spring and the chopper blade, is what eventually fixes my dishwasher and fixes the sound that we were getting. And that's why I kind of named the video as it is, because this handles 98% of the problems with these old Kenmore and Whirlpool washers. Is by going in and doing this kind of cleaning step and addressing the fix on my particular, it solves all these other problems that are occurring with these dishwashers all the time. We're all taking apart the same things and we're changing the same parts. So this is why it's very universal, and it's kind of a universal troubleshooting to fix all of these problems. So we ended up buying the drain and wash impeller kit just to get the new spring and cutter blade, which you see here. The old one is over here on the right side. The new ones are in the plastic bag. I bought the whole kit because at some point one of these parts are going to fail, and I'll have it on hand already and I can get it fixed. What I want to show you is the spring on the old cutter. Part of it has sheared off, a very small part, and I think that is causing an issue to where it's not seating properly. You guys can look here in the details. The new one's on top, the bottom one. You see the new one on top is actually a thicker gauge. The older one that's in there, the part that kind of dips down at a 90-degree angle has been sheared off a bit. So I was just looking and I was like, yeah, this doesn't look right. And I finally decided, let's go ahead and just get the kit, get the spring replaced. So we're going to go ahead and use the new spring and the new cutter blade and get that installed and put back on. So the new cutter blade or chopper blade is noticeably heavier, maybe a thicker gauge. I don't know necessarily if that's an indication that's better quality or not, but you can tell that it is a slightly thicker gauge. So it's what we have. That's what we're going to use to replace. So now we're in the home stretch and we're going to put everything back in the dishwasher just in reverse order. Let's put that white rubber gasket back down nice and flat. Make sure it fits in there nice and neat. We're going to put the check ball, just drop that into the hole, and then let's replace that black oval cover that had the one screw there, and we're going to get that put in so that seals down into the drain area where that check ball is not going to come out, and then we'll place the second check ball on top once we get this drain cover put back on. Once we get the lone screw put back in, that'll seal this black oval cover down, and then we'll work on the chopper blade and spring. The flat part of the spring is going to slide up into that hook part of the chopper blade, and then you're going to put it spring down on top of that cover, and then you'll see just rotate it until it kind of drops into a little hole where that 90-degree angle that looked like it was sheared off before kind of catches, and then it's going to seat in there properly. All right, now it's time to put the separator back on. If you take a look at the bottom of the separator, there's a small oval opening here that's going to fit on top of where that check ball area is. It's going to seat nice and secure there. So you're going to turn the separator over and just kind of rotate and wiggle it back and forth until it sits in there nice and locks itself in. And you can verify that by the screw holes also will line up the 4 that we had removed to get this on there. So might take a little bit to get it seated properly, but you want to make sure this is on good. Rotate until it kind of really sits in there. You'll know that it's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to take those 4 Torx screws that we have put aside, and we're going to go ahead and get those screwed back in to lock this down to the bottom of the wash. You'll notice that there is a round rubber gasket, the black round rubber gasket on here. That's what you'll change out if you're changing out all the gaskets. We're not doing that again, just because that's not part of the problem that we're dealing with. But if you are, you can get that done here as well. We're going to drop the impeller in, and on the female side of the impeller, there's only one way it can drop in. There's a flat part to it that seats in there. So rotate until that drops all the way down, and then tighten up the screw. And you'll want to make sure that screw is tightened completely because that's going to help seal this area. So the next part is going to be the pump cover, and we're going to place that inside of the manifold on the back here. Just push that in until it kind of clicks in. You'll feel it seat in there real good, and then drop that down to where we can put the Torx screws. I think there were 8 of them, and that'll all line up and seat nicely. You want to just put them back in a star pattern, kind of like you're doing tires. If you've ever changed a tire, kind of just start on opposite ends and work in a star pattern back and forth. And just make sure that this top is going to seat properly as you're tightening it down. All right, so now we're going to find that white washer bearing, the one that has that little space there. Looks like it's cracked. It's not. You're going to fit that on. Again, make sure you're fitting it on with the bigger side on the bottom. And then we're going to put the spray arm on top of that. It should free spin really easy. And then we're going to cap it with the retaining nut at the top, screw that back on, and you are just about done. There's a little bit of grime and dirt down here. While you're got everything out, go ahead and clean everything out. Wipe this all down really good so it doesn't get caught up in everything we just fixed and took apart. And the only thing you have left are putting your baskets back in. You are almost done. So let's get the bottom basket. Remember, that just kind of rolls right in. Not a big to do with getting that back in. The top one, let's get our light out of the way. The top one is going to slide in on those wheels into the metal tracks, and then we're going to replace those plastic clips on the side that hold them in. Just drop them in on both sides of those tracks and give it a good test by pulling it out and making sure it doesn't just all come rolling out of your dishwasher. It should stop it from coming all the way out. Now the only thing left to do is test it. You're going to go back downstairs, turn the power back onto your dishwasher, and I would run it without dishes just to make sure everything runs fine. We got rid of that noise, got rid of the sound. I hope we took care of yours also. Let me know in the comments if you gave this a try. Proud of you. You just saved yourself a lot of money and learned some new skills. Good job.